Good afternoon. I'm Liz Staubach, Chair of the City of Albany IDA. Call the meeting of March 21st to order. Notice of the record that we have a quorum with Christopher Betts and Anthony Gaddy not in attendance. For the first item on the agenda, I'd ask to waive the reading and accept as presented.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the chief report of the chief financial.
Yes, in your packets is the monthly update on their monthly cash activity from February 2024 for your review and any questions.
Any questions for Tom?
We still have money.
Yes.
All right.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business and 745 Broadway Apartments LLC.
Sure. Very quick summation of the request at hand. The applicant who is here with us today is requesting an extension in the duration of the sales tax certificate to accommodate some unexpected delays in construction and also to accommodate the fit out of the ground floor commercial space. In addition to that, the applicant is requesting additional sales and mortgage recording tax assistance that exceeds $100,000. The total amount is approximately $141,000. Because of that, the agency elected to have a public hearing to discuss that, which was held at last week's Finance Committee, during which no public comments were received.
Any questions? Okay, just before the motion, I will be recusing myself, abstaining. I will be abstaining for this vote. Project has received money from NYSERDA.
There's no legal conflict, but out of abundance of caution, the chair is going to abstain on this vote.
May I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. Thank that.
Thank you all.
Probably didn't need to put money in the meter on that. Next item on the agenda is 48 Corporate Circle LLC resolution for public hearing.
Yes, thank you. We did a deep dive, so to speak, into this project a little bit. At the Finance Committee last week, what was unavailable at the time, which Cassidy is passing out now, is the executive summary of the third-party consultant report. That is basically finding that the request at hand is reasonable. The full draft memo, which is being finalized as we speak, will certainly be available for board consumption prior to next month's Finance Committee meeting, during which we may be holding a public hearing depending on the outcome of this meeting today. Noting that the applicant is here with us if there's any questions. This is 40.
Oh, sorry, wrong one,
Yep.
wrong one.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, whoops, sorry, wrong ahead.
One more down.
We're on the next one.
Yeah.
We'll kick it up then. Any questions on 48 Corporate Circle? Okay, may I get a motion to schedule the public hearing?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Next one is now.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I got my numbers mixed up in there. So, on this upcoming project, my name is Joe Betteram with, New York State Office of General Services. The partner entity in this project has business before my agency, and so in accordance with the, recusal or my approval to serve on the board, I'm gonna be recusing myself from all matters on this, so I'll be vacating out. We'll know where to find you. Thank you.
We'll come and grab you.
All right.
Okay, next item on the agenda, Freedom Springs.
Sure. This project, which was discussed in depth at last week's Finance Committee meeting, is the purpose-built affordable housing project situated near the intersection of Central and Colvin Avenue. The applicant, albeit not in the room, is here with us today via Zoom. If there's any questions, and has assured us that they will be here with us in person next month, should we elect to move forward with a public hearing.
Is there any update on the planning status for approvals in May? I mean, April, sorry.
I would defer to the applicant on that if we can.
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't quite hear you there.
Just looking for the status update on your planning approvals. Is everything still on track for conditional approval in April?
Yes, I've been assured that we will be on the agenda. All of our material has been sent to Avi over at the city, and it's in city reviews right now.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Let's have a hearing.
All right, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. See you next month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. The next item on the agenda is annual reporting.
So you have the full packet of all of our annual reporting, and the draft financial statements for 2023 and our audit for 2023. The Teal Becker Schmalzi, our auditors, were here at audit committee in early March,
Yes.
And did a overview of those documents and reviewed that with the committee. The committee made a positive recommendation to bring those to the full board. Essentially clean audit, no material weaknesses identified. And just for the purposes of the record, I didn't want to make a point that there is a new auditing standard. You guys have heard this multiple times at this point, but there's a new auditing standard that applied to the auditors, which changed the definition of significant risk to include any risk that is deemed high risk. Additionally, no audit can have no high risk areas. So they all have to have an area of high risk. So they reported that there's 2 areas of high risk. One being that there's a management override entity that, management could potentially override internal controls. Not that that's happening, not that they saw any evidence of that, but that in any organization, that's always a risk. And then the second one being cash, because cash is the most liquid, cash is the easiest to, compromise or have an issue with fraud. Also, once again, not that that's happening, but that is an area that they identified as a risk. But like I said, clean audits and clean reporting for the year.
I said, well, can you go over the lease, this aspect, just because it looks kind of frightening sometimes to people.
Sure, and then, I may defer to
Yeah.
Tom, who is the CPA. So it's my understanding, it does look frightening. So this, you're referring to the Arborville lease that
Yeah.
took place.
Note 5.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. This is similar to almost kind of like a net present value calculation. So it's looking at over the term, longer term ahead. And this is something, Tom, am I correct? Because I know we spoke about this. This is more geared towards some of the auditors and CPAs are looking at.
Yeah, actually, there was a new accounting standard
Last year.
last year, GASB 87. Since we signed this new lease for the Arbor Health Community Center, which goes out to the year 2099, which makes this look so big and kind of luminous. That it looks like we're paying interest all the way up to the year 2083. It's just such a long-term lease that this is the way it has to be presented, unfortunately, with the GASB rules. Nothing really changes in the bottom line. It's just the way it's presented. The accounting standards themselves, this is more for big banks and stuff like that, so it's just, I don't agree with it, but I have to live by it.
So do we in the city.
Yes, yeah.
I have one
You're
staff.
probably gotta be a lot of pages.
It's not quite as large, but as it could be, but it's basically calculate our leases and get all that information together. So thank you.
On that note, per the auditor's recommendation, we also updated our MD&A and included a couple sentences on that lease at their suggestion. So it's really just 2 sentences describing the timing and what happened. So that document was updated. And it is part of this packet and will be made part of the permanent, audit record for this, for 2023.
Great.
Any additional questions?
Yeah, we could also, just on the annual report, thank you for the reminder. Although Emma's not here, she did brief me, and it's pretty easy. We're missing one straight lease jobs reporting. We're still gonna try to pull that in before the end of the month. It is a project that is going through the termination process currently. So this would have been the last year of reporting anyway, and also there is no pilot in place. This was just a mortgage and recording and sales tax exemption project. And all IDA bonds have reported on their jobs and also their converts. So we're in very good shape. And it's just what we're doing now between now and the end of the month is just checking, rechecking, triple checking all the math, all the equations that are pulling into this annual report so that it can be as polished as possible when we hit submit next Friday. So.
Okay. Joe, can we approve this as a package or?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I would ask for a motion to approve the full packet of annual reporting documents. May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agency update?
So I do have probably one thing before we jump into the other doc. So just expect next month, probably not for this meeting, but for the next meeting, it's probably doing this update. CRC, we will have to, talk through a grants program update. But I'll remind you again at the next meeting.
Thank you. Joe?
Right, I was going to suggest that we go into executive session to get a more comprehensive briefing on the status of the Liberty Park condemnation. You recall at the last meeting, I gave a very brief description of where we were, both from a procedural standpoint and some latest developments with respect to the back and forth discovery process. Chuck Malcolm, my partner, is available. It's obviously pending litigation, so we need a motion to go into executive session, so that I would not recommend that this discussion take place in open session.
May I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss legal matters?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I gotta leave.
I know. Okay, and we're back from executive session. Note that no action was taken. Moving down the agenda, we have the compliance update.
No update other than what was given on the annual reporting status.
Okay. So anything else anyone would like to discuss before a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.